Alright, what's up, Dragon Brood? I don't think it's a secret that we've seen a lot of problems with Secret Lair. Not from the card selections or anything like that. It's that, well, most of us can't really order them when we want to. And it's a weird thing to me, right? Because it feels like Wizards of the Coast, if we were saying that they're just in it for the money, or they're making decisions to be a money grab, or whatever it is people believe these days, that they would be making decisions to let more of us buy them so that we could give them more money, right? Well, let's talk about some of the problems, why they're problems, and a solution that I think we have that maybe could fix things. Let's start with the most recent Secret Lair we saw. There was the Dan Secret Lair, which was, I believe, an 80 card package of things, and pretty much every time we've seen them do a Secret Lair that was more than just a handful of cards, it's always sold out and sold for more money later. Particularly when we've seen the Commander decks and the Advent calendars, and Dan kind of fell into that same space. To the point, we saw it sell out in 27 minutes. On top of that, it ended up showing up on eBay within the hour after stuff sold out, and they were going for up to 3 times as much. So this is strictly going to scalpers. Well, okay, maybe strictly is the wrong word, but they're going straight to sell them because they know they'll have them in short order, and then they could just mail them out. So that's already one of the biggest problems. But there's a lot of others I think we need to talk about. Like, what if you're at a job where you can't have a cell phone available? Well, that just means you're never going to have an opportunity to buy these because they go up at 9 a.m. Pacific time. Unless you happen to be on lunch break on the East Coast, you may not get a shot at them. There's also other people like me that are just busy. I don't want to sit online for 2 hours sometimes to be told it's sold out, right? Like, that sucks. And I get people that say, oh, well, FOMO is a thing. Well, you got to make people miss it so they try to get it. No, people are just trying not to get them anymore, if that even makes sense. I've talked to several folks, even this past weekend, that says, yeah, I was kind of interested, but I didn't even try because I knew I wouldn't get it. So you're not really getting to the point that people are missing out and trying to get them. They're just not trying anymore. If you believe in the FOMO theory of stuff, the reality is you actually want to get to somewhere north of 80%, often 85 or 90, and leave a sliver of people who want it that can't get their hands on it, so they're rushing to get it the next time. It seems like when I talk to people, more people have not gotten things than gotten things. So that means we're a long way from the point of even seeing any level of equilibrium here. There's also the issue I wonder at times that I don't really know. We probably will never know this without seeing the paperwork, but wouldn't it make the brand partners even happier to be able to say that they sold, I don't know, some number of millions of dollars more? And we're talking about universes beyond ones here, but there's no reason we can't just sell a lot more. Like, it's even crazier to me to just not sell more of them when you have the crossover products. I know they pay something for the licenses, or at least give a percentage of the sales, right? That's also weird. So I don't really know what's going on here. But the only thing I do know is that we've heard, at least repeated a few times through the community as an excuse, is, well, because of production and shipping times, we have to do it this way with the limited quantities, or we can't get them out there in time. Now, we did have the time before where people had to wait 2 months, 3 months to get their stuff, or with one of the Commander products they had, some people waited like 8 months, if I remember right, to get their hands on one of them, so that was a little crazy. So we obviously don't want that, right? But I'd be fine going back to waiting 6 or 8 weeks to get my stuff if it meant that more people had the opportunity to get them, or that I could have the cool crossover things that I want, or hell, just the in-universe Magic stuff with just original artwork, or the artist I like. It would be cool to have some version of those, but I just don't, because I know the effort it would take to try to get them, and I'm probably still not going to get one even after putting in the effort. But knowing what WotC says about, hey, productions and all that might actually be true. They are printing a lot of product right now, and I would imagine time on the presses is probably precious. So you have to have a tight schedule to make sure everything gets done. But here's a proposal, and if you follow me on either of my podcasts, cheap plug here, you should probably check out Magic Mike's if you haven't, and Color of Magic if you want the more serious side of gaming. If you've heard me on our podcast, I do have a theory that I think could work here, so follow me. Let's say that something has to go to the printers because it's part of the schedule, so it's set for Thursday of the particular week. What if we said we won't even take orders through the Secret Lair website until 3 days before it would go to print. That would be Monday in this case. We get the orders and we leave it open for a 24-hour window. The 24-hour window is important because that means that everybody has a shot at it, no matter where you are in the zone where they deliver. East Coast, West Coast, morning, evening, crazy shift, you got to pick your kids up from work, whatever it is, everybody has a chance in a 24-hour period. And there will still be people who miss out because they either forget or they don't check their email when you send out the reminder emails or whatever the case is. So not every single person who wants one will get one, but 24 hours, fair window for everybody who wants one, right? Maximize your quantities. Then that gives you the whole 2 days in between to compile the orders, do whatever they got to do on their end to get them to the printer. Then they go to the printer on Thursday like they're already scheduled to do. We don't have to move the print date. Everything goes the same way it would normally go. Now, I will say this does change things where if you end up getting 4 times the orders you expected to print, yes, it would slow things down. But I would imagine once they do this 2 or 3 times, they'll have enough data to roughly know how popular things are going to be. And then that becomes less of a problem. But then this means that everybody who wants one has a chance to get one. Still printing, so you don't have to drastically change the print schedule. And then they would still be able to deliver like normal, right? They come out the printer, they get packaged, boom, and the next week or 2, they start going out the door and everybody still gets them. Like, I think this worked. Like, and I've passed it through other people, and people seem to believe this should work. So there's a reason that Wizards isn't doing this, but I don't know why. Like, why would we not want more people to get these cool exclusive products in their hand? And also they make more money in the process, and this doesn't really disrupt their printing process. Regardless, this feels like a real solution because again, we've reached the point where Secret Lairs where so many people are just not even trying to get them. And they're not even going into the hands of many fans because there's so many that show up online immediately afterwards on eBay. Which, hey, nothing wrong with people getting paid and selling stuff on the secondary. I'm good with that. But let's at least try to get it into the hands of people at the original affordable price if people actually want them and they're fans. Now, if you miss out, even under the new system on the 24-hour thing, hey, that's on you. You at least had a full day. But when you don't even have 30 minutes to try to get them, I mean, there have been people that have waited literally on their phones, on their computers, ready to go. Right when it went live, hit the button, still didn't get it. Like, that's crazy. Why are we in this space doing this right now? Right? It feels like there's other solutions. And maybe my solution isn't perfect. I'm okay with that. But there's got to be something else better than what we're doing. You can't tell me there's not a solution. It's not better for getting stuff to the players while also getting Wizards giant skids of money. Right? The thing we have right now isn't making them more money. It's not good for PR. It's not making players happy. Nothing in the current system is working, really. So, I don't know. Y'all let me know. Does this sound like something that makes sense? Am I crazy? Is there something else we could be doing? Actually, here's a better thing. Let me know in the comments if you've actually just decided to not buy Secret Lairs. I would be very curious how many people have just given up on trying to get them, or if you've had an experience where you really wanted one and you were one of those early people in the queue and you still didn't get it. Because I think this would be interesting for people to read through and maybe we pass it on or somebody at Wizards sees it. I have no idea. So that's all I have to do for now. We'll see you next time.